Divine is life, life is divine. Divine is the self, self is divine. Life is the medium of self or divine, in and through which the life divine or the self reveals its infinite majesty, glory, and all properties. Life has got four aspects in and through which the self-divine, which is Sat Chit Ananda, meaning existence, knowledge, bliss, love and peace absolute. Absolute is the reality which symptomatizes as ideality. Self or God is pure consciousness. Otherwise, it cannot be reality itself. Reality is unmixed, eternal entity out of which the reality of duality manifests. How? It is a very important and very interesting subject for life. To create anything, to build anything, there is needed some subject and at the same time some object. The subject, with the help of object, can create so many things. Now, in the divine reality or I reality, only I alone exists. Only self-divine alone exists. How the reality of duality comes within the reality of non-duality or reality of oneness without a second. This oneness is not made one, but eternal one, infinite one, absolute one, without a second. There is no other entity apart from the I-reality, that is Sat Chit Ananda reality. How life comes, how the action of life is possible? It is a question to the life. How the subject-object relationship is possible when there is only one reality without a second? It was a pertinent question to the ancient people, the ancient sages of this glorious land, India. This country is very blessed and fortunate enough to discover the science of oneness, the knowledge of oneness, and the knowledge of duality as well. How? It is the discovery of life. God is one, self is one, ideality is one. Where from duality comes? Now, what is the nature of ideality or self-reality or divine reality? It is ever spontaneous, ever revealing. That means it is not a static principle. It is maximum dynamic. That is, in and through its inherent power, always it reveals and reveals and reveals itself. Consciousness is playing in the consciousness, of the consciousness, for the consciousness. I will set some formula for you all to understand my implied meaning of all this saying. because the subject is very, very tough and very subtle. Intellect cannot find any light without the background consciousness. Intellect is not permanent. It has no light of itself. It borrows the light direct from the background consciousness. What is that background consciousness? I-reality. Consciousness absolute, bliss absolute, and truth or goodness absolute. How that absolute becomes the universal one and the innumerable individual one. All these are possible only by the eternal one reality, which is the background consciousness, the substratum of all, the underlying essence of all, at the same time the inner nature functioning for the unfoldment of its own glory, own power, own knowledge, own bliss, peace and love. Without any life, all these are not possible. In the infinite space, without any subject-object, there cannot be any creation. Before the creation, what was existing, nobody can know. How can one know without any mind or intellect? But God is all-knowing, omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. It is all knowledge, all bliss, all love, all peace. And that reveals in and through this life. Life is inseparable part of the all divine, of the I-reality. This I-reality means consciousness, absolute. Consciousness without I does not manifest at all. And I without consciousness does not exist at all. Now, I is not a person. When I becomes a person, then there are three persons, first person, second person and third person. It is the function of the inner nature, which is fourfold: mind, intellect, ego and mind stuff. Man, buddhi, ahankar, chitta. Man, mind. The function of mind is resolution and doubt. To find out the pros and cons of a thing, characterizing, thinking, imagining, feeling, so and so. And intellect is the principle of ascertainment, faculty of determination. Determinating faculty is intellect. It determines what is what. And ego is the doer, is the performer, is the actor, is the enjoyer, is the experiencer of life. And mind stuff is the storehouse in which all our previous thoughts, action and results remain in a seed form, just like in a tape recorder or in a video recorder. The acting, songs, all are recorded. So mind stuff is the storehouse of all our thoughts, actions, imagination and results thereof. Now, what is the function of life? Life itself has no entity at all apart from the I-reality or self-divine. Self-divine is the subject, is the object, is the correlating factor between the subject and object. Otherwise, subject without an object cannot function, and object without subject does not exist at all. Now, in the life, the consciousness or I-reality plays in fourfold aspect. One, outer nature, with the physical body. Physical body is the outer nature. Inner pran, mind, mon, intellect is the inner nature. Antah-karan in Sanskrit, that is inner sense, inner instrument, inner through which the background consciousness or ideality manifests, reveals, plays and enjoys the game. Again, that is not all perfect, because the inner nature always plays and functions in and through the outer nature. Without the outer nature, inner nature cannot function. Outer nature is sustained by the inner nature. And inner nature derives its motive power direct from the central nature. Central nature. That is the heart consciousness. It is balanced. It is of the nature of evenness, equanimous and homogeneous by nature. You just follow the words, because within the short period I am to give you some light about the ideality. That means what is called ideality is divine reality, is called self-reality. So don't mistake that I is separate from the self God. God has got some I, and I is of the nature of all divine qualities and nature. Self and God are but one. I and self and God are really one reality, one entity. This is my discovery. So, in the creation, I reality is the background, is the underlying essence of life and matter, spirit and matter. That is, outer nature is matter, material, inner nature is spiritual, central nature is divine, and the last transcendental one is the super divine. Suprarational organon, I have given the term, that is I absolute, reality absolute, the one infinite one, secondless one, without any limitation, condition, quality and action and result. That is, the pure consciousness and the I-reality is absolutely free from all these three aspects. But central one, the inner one and the outer one, these three aspects function taking the support from the innermost one, the inner succeeding one. That is, outer exists and function with the help of the inner, inner exists and function with the help of the central, and central, though superior to the inner and outer one, yet is not all perfect. That is called the universal. Central is the universal. Universal one is the Lord of the creation, is the ruler of the creation, is the source and cause of the creation. Creation without Lord is not possible, and Lord without creation does not exist at all. Where there is creation, there is God. Where there is God, there is I. Where there is I, there is consciousness. Matter is also one form of consciousness. Here consciousness is in a very lowest unit. That is, matter is the most condensed form of conscious energy. Consciousness is power, consciousness is the reality itself. Now, consciousness and consciousness power are not different. Just like the fire and its light and heat cannot be different. The sun, its light and its heat, all are one. Similarly, ideality has got some power which is called mindness. Mera, mera, mera. I and mind. Huh? Mind is the objective part of I. But object cannot exist without subject, but subject can exist without object. For example, when you are asleep, then your all objective part of life, that is active part of life, remains asleep, remains stopped, inactive. That is in a cause state, where all effects remain in a latent and dormant state. Again, when you awaken, then the power, your energy, mera, starts playing. Now you should know one thing, that your I is the self-divine. It is superior to your mind part. But when mind part is stronger, greater, then I part remains covered and imperfect. Because I, with any condition, limitation, made by qualities, made by the reality of mind, makes the I part limited condition. That is why the individual I is conditioned and limited in respect of all other manifestations in comparison with the central one. Because central one is equibalanced, is even, that is equal to all. Equal to all in Sanskrit, Atman Buddh. That means the I light, the I consciousness is always equivalence. There is no duality in I consciousness. Duality, plurality, relativity, all are the function of the mind consciousness. That is why jiva, that is individual I, is limited by its my nature. It is mind nature. Now you have to transcend the mind nature by virtue of cultivation of consciousness, pure consciousness. That is why education helps us to develop such condition which can make the central nature absolutely free from the demerits of the inner and outer nature. And that is possible in life. In the educational development, it is very carefully observed that the standard of understanding varies from one another among the students, from the very lower level up to the highest one. This is the conditions of the mind nature. That is, our mind nature exists from physical body to intellect. Physical body and its functioning activities are possible due to the bioenergy, that is prana shakti. And prana shakti has no awareness at all. It is possible with the help of the mind. Mind is a reflected part of the I consciousness. That is why mind has got some sense of understanding. That is called mental understanding. It's not all perfect. It is understanding, no doubt. In and through mind, we use the objective parts of life. Matter, sound, and form, and action, all are done by mind, in and through the senses. Senses are tenfold. 5 are organs of action, 5 are organs of perception. Perhaps you know that organs of perception means eye, ear, nose, mouth, and skin. In and through eye, we perceive the forms, gross, subtle. But eye cannot perceive the sound. Ear perceives the sound, not the form. Sound, gross and subtle. And nose perceives the scent, good or bad, odor. And mouth, tongue, taste the quality of food. And tongue is also active organ, in and through which we speak. Huh? Our skin experiences the touch. That is, the quality of skin is touch. Now, Shabda, Sparsha, Roop, Ras, Gandha. Shabda, that means sound, experienced by ear, touched by skin, formed by eyes, ras, that is tasted by tongue, and scent by nose. These are the 5 sense objects. Sense objects are experienced by 5 organs of perception, and 5-fold activities done by 5 organs of action. That is, bak, tongue, pani, hand, in and through tongue we speak, we talk, and convey our thought, idea, feeling, our experience. And in and through hands we work. Bak, pani, pad means feet. We move, we run, in and through foot. Upast, that is generative organ, and payu means rectum, in and through which the excretion, that is the waste part of our food stuff, is discharged. Now, all these things are happening in life. So life should be conscious of all these things first. This is also the function of consciousness, the function of ideality. Now, ideality starts from the ignorant state. From the very birth, we start with the outer objects first. What is what? What is this? What is that? So, there we take the help of our parents, because we have got our physical body. How? As a result of the tapasya of our parents, father and mother. फादर और मदर का वो तपस्या का फल है हमारी जीवन. लेकिन जीवन तो मिले हमको. We have got the life. But what is the function of life? Father and mother take proper care up to a standard, giving all needfuls for the life. Then they send the children to the next greater one, that is teacher in school, where they learn the nature, outward nature and inner nature to some extent, all objectives. What is what, how one thing is made, where all things are properly maintained. All these things we learn from the second guru, teacher. First guru, father, mother. Second guru, that is guide or guru, is teacher of school and college. And third guru is one who teaches us the cause of all these happenings. How all these are possible? कैसे ये दुनिया बना हुआ है, कैसे जीवन बनते, कैसे कोई डिस्कवरी ऑफ कोई सब्जेक्ट का डिस्कवरी, नॉलेज का डिस्कवरी कैसे है हो सकता है. That is taught by the guru of third stage. But that is not all. We can learn the cause state from such guru. Diksha dete. Kya? The cause of the universe is not in the outside, but within us, in the life, I consciousness. No experience is possible without I consciousness, because I is the consciousness, consciousness is the I, and that lies within you at your heart core. So, who am I is a question for one individual. Because individual is a person. He has got a life with physical body, vital, mental, intellectual. Each of the has got some function, has got some characteristics. All are nothing but different mode of experience. That is consciousness. Consciousness in and through the function of gunas, in and through the function of power. Power creates, power maintains, and power dissolves, destroys. But I remain always the same. I is not born. Your body is born. How? Body is the function of quality, power, which is the active part of I-reality. That is function of Shakti, function of the objective part of life, the predicative part of life. How would the subjective part remaining as supervisor behind all activities, all thoughts, all actions, all results of life? It is only the witness consciousness. Pure consciousness is witness consciousness. It is not the subject. It is not the doer, enjoyer, or experiencer. It is the intellect, the inner nature, which is the doer, enjoyer, and experiencer. That is called the reflected part of I reality, the pure consciousness. That is why mind, intellect, ego, all these are the reflected light or reflected part of the same one reality, I reality, which is all-pervading, all-pervasive, and the background of all. It is the underlying essence of all. That is why in life, each and every thought, action, result, all are possible due to the background consciousness, that is I consciousness. Who am I is the question of first person. There are three persons, first person, second person, third person, in our lifestyle, in our day-to-day use. First person is I am. Second person is thou art, you are. Third person is he is. But the supreme person, that means highest of the person concept, is I reality itself and none else. I reality is the first person, I reality is the second person, I reality is the third person. Each and every individual uses I, from the very childhood till the last day of life. Without I, no consciousness can function, no thought can function, no thought action is possible, no experience is possible. तो मैं कौन हूँ, उसको जवाब, उसका आंसर है, I am all, अखंड, I am the absolute. There, I don't use I am. That is, I is the absolute. There, I is not a person. It is the reality. It is the underlying essence. It is the life-pervading truth. It is the substratum, which is absolutely pure, unmixed, unalloyed, unchangeable, formless, changeless, supportless, and one without a second. That is the eternal background of life. That is I-reality, which is absolute. This I-reality manifests as the universal I-reality, which is the Lord of creation, that is Ishvara. Ishvara has got some inherent power which unfolds in the world drama, that is the diversities of names and forms in and through the life, and enjoys that. That is Atma Lila, the sportful, dramatic, same-side game of self-consciousness. Sportful, dramatic, same-side game of self-consciousness. The I-reality or consciousness remains always the consciousness. It never changes its true nature. But changes are nothing but the appearances to the senses, to the mind, not to the self, not to the real I. Real I is absolutely free from duality, free from all thoughts, action, result, imagination, result. It is only the witness, just like the infinite space, sky. It is very subtle. You cannot destroy it. Fire cannot burn it. Water cannot drench it. Air cannot move it. And no atom bomb can destroy it. It remains always the same, under all circumstances. The universe of names and forms and ideas may appear and disappear, but the space will remain the same. And the I-reality is subtler than this space also. It is the pure consciousness which is the witness of this space, infinite space, all pervading infinite space, in which the self-power unfolds the world drama, the sportful, dramatic, same-side game of self-consciousness. If you want to experience this thing, you may go to the shore of the sea, ocean. There you will find that the ocean generally is calm, pacific. Water is transparent, calm. Some waves makes it moving. There arises ripples, waves, and rolling, one after another, and the roll contracts and again bursts into water again. The pervading reality of all the appearances is the same water. So, all the function of life, whatever may be, good or bad, pleasant or unpleasant, pleasuresome or troublesome, gross or subtle, causal, visible or invisible, good or bad, all are nothing but different expressions of the same one consciousness. देखो, हम दुख और आनंद और सुख वो जो एक्सपीरियंस करते हैं हम लोग, वो some kinds of consciousness. Without consciousness, we cannot experience anything. So all these are the play of the same consciousness. It is sportful because it is ever revealing and ever playing. Dramatic because it is manifold, acting with one another playfully, and same-set game, that is, abiding reality remains the same. The consciousness remains the same. The ideality remains the same. Subject remains the same. Your eye experiences so many things in life from your childhood. How many types of experiences you have got from the very childhood up to the lifetime? Innumerable, countless. You cannot describe all. How many good experience, how many evil experience, how many sad experience, how many melancholy. But your real eye is untouched, unaffected. It only experiences in and through the inner nature. When there is no function of the inner nature, then eye remains always the same. During your deep sleep state, your inner nature does not work at all. It ceases function and remains in a very seed form, in very cause form, where there is no action at all. It is in the equilibrium state of gunas. Gunas are threefold. That is, one is light, that is called swatik, goodness or light or balance. And the second is rajasic, that means dynamic, active, full of desire, passion, and the rest. And the third one is tamasic, meaning principle of inert, dullness, passivity, inactivity, and ignorance. All these three qualities work, and the result is the visible universe. It is the gunas acting on the gunas, expressing and giving birth to the visible universe of forms, names, ideas. But when these three qualities remain inactive, that is called equilibrium of the three gunas, means there is no creation at all. Creation of names, forms, and ideas. Yeah? It is experienced only during the deep sleep state. But in the dream state, we experience the similar world as we experience in the outer nature in the awakening state. अभी जागृत अवस्था में awakening state में we experience all objective, gross, subtle, causal. How many forms, how many sounds, how many ideas, how many actions, how many results in the awakening state, in and through, experience in and through the senses and mind. But if the senses are not in order, or mind is not attentive, then we cannot experience the objective. So, to experience the objective, we require the mind and the senses. But when there is no senses and mind, so there is no creation at all. There is no objective part at all. No gross, no subtle, no causal. There, your I-reality remains in the latent state where your senses are not active, your mind is not active. That is why it is called the causal state. Causal state cannot be experienced. It is not known. That is not knowing state. Again, in the awakening state, you are aware of all these differences. In the active state of the inner nature, that is in the awakening state, you experience the diversities of names, forms, action, result. This is called the universal experience, universal knowledge. That is material knowledge. All are subject to change and modification, and it is perishable. It is changeable, perishable. That is why it is not real. But behind this unreal phenomena, there is one real phenomena, the background, for which the unreal phenomena is possible. It is not absolutely false, because it is known by the inner one, and inner one is known by the central one, and central one is experienced and is non-entity when the transcendental one is vividly functioning. That is, when I reality is in the I reality alone. Now I will give you some formula. Now in the state of unfolding the essence of I reality, now you say that your time is over. That is, your ego is subordinate to the time, but not the real I, because real I is beyond time, space, causation. It is absolutely free from any limitation or condition. That is why my cone means I am the absolute reality, the only cause of all other causes and effects, the only reality which is one without a second. It is eternal, means beyond time, space, causation. That is your real I. My cone. This is the discovery that I experience constantly. And I exist in you all as your I. That is, I am playing with the I. This is the sportful, dramatic, same-set game of self-consciousness. This is all divine for all time as it is, because I always remain as it is, I. That means consciousness, consciousness, consciousness. Without consciousness, you cannot say anything, know anything, think of anything, and experience anything. That is, your I is ever present, always, but your mind, your nature is not all perfect. It is playing in one way or others. Now, it is time enough for you all, because the time is over. All right, again, if your I wants to experience this thing more and more and get properly well established in your I-reality, that means the seventh formula of I-reality, that is, I is in I, of I, from I, for I, by I, with I, to I, on I, and beyond, beyond, beyond. This is the ninth state of I-reality, which covers all of our experiences in life, whatever may be, no matter. And I means consciousness. So consciousness, in consciousness, of consciousness, from consciousness, for consciousness, by consciousness, with consciousness, to consciousness, on consciousness, and beyond, beyond, beyond. That means your I, when beyond, 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 then that is the true I, real I, my own. I is all and in all in one in all, and one in one, and beyond, beyond. All in one, one in all, and one in one, and beyond, beyond, beyond. So that all of you are very blessed and fortunate enough to listen to the real nature of ID. So you will definitely remember this I and overcome all self-contradictory understanding and difficulties of life. Don't forget your real I. Remember this. Atmanang vidhi, atmanang sara, anusvara. That means you remember your I, not of your mind. Because you are habituated in using the sense of mindness. But you should remember the sense of I-ness, the reality of I-ness in all respects of life, from the morning to the midnight. So in your class, you must remember this I reality at least 1 minute in the beginning before your class. And at the end of the class period, only 1 minute, you should remember I. No sense of mindness, just relax in the rest in the I reality, so that this I reality will survive, will become very prominent in your life from the very childhood, and you will be able to realize this throughout your life. This is the blessing of the Almighty I reality, the divine reality, the self-reality. So all should be Satchit Ananda Swarupam, Ananda Swarupam, Ananda Swarupam. Mukti, Shanti is your real nature. It is not object of attainment. Your very true nature is ever free, ever peaceful, and ever blissful. Blissful is not all correct. Bliss itself, peace itself, love itself, consciousness itself, reality itself. I. Now, thanks you. All.